20 years, most of them in Brooklyn South Task Force, which actually used to be not too far away on Coney Island Avenue in Cape, right over here. And I was there for 15 years, 14 or 15 years. We covered all of Brooklyn, and we really responded to any major event in New York City, from the Crown Heights riots, the Washington Heights riots, the riots on the Brooklyn Bridge, and both World Trade Center attacks, and I was the first responder on 9/11. And as you can imagine, I have very, very vivid memories of that day. And the thing that always strikes me the most about that is the patriotism we felt on 9/12 and moving forward. We all wish we can go back to those days. I mean, after we get past the horror of 9/11, the patriotism we felt after that was unbelievable. I don't think we've ever been as united in the last 30 years as a country. The American flags, it wasn't about Republicans, it wasn't about Democrats, it wasn't about anything. We were Americans. And over the last 20 years, we've lost that again. And that's something that we're trying to get past again right now. So, as a police officer, as my career went on, I decided to get into the teaching aspect of it. I became a police academy tactics instructor, and I took all my experience on the street, and certainly my experience from 9/11, and I bestowed it upon young, up-and-coming police officers. And it was quite a task. You take 21-year-olds, who most of them have never worked before in their life, a lot of them used to live with their parents, and you have to shape them into police officers, New York City police officers, within 6 months. And we did that. And we did that about 2,500 recruits a year for the 5 years I was there. And I can tell you there's no greater honor than watching somebody come in, a raw recruit, on day one of the academy and seeing what they look like that day, and then seeing them on graduation day. It's immense pride, and it's something I truly enjoy as a police officer. I did my 20 years, I retired, and at the time we had a young daughter who was autistic. She was diagnosed with autism at 22 months. So she needed extensive therapy, so we had to make a life decision, much like my father had to make many life decisions. We moved out to Pennsylvania. We put her into the school district there. We got her in intensive therapy. We had therapists not only in the school, but coming to the house 3 times a day. All day. I can tell you right now, she's the most amazing 13-year-old girl you could ever imagine. But that was tough. It was tough leaving New York City. I didn't want to do it. I missed it. And the first chance I had to make another decision. I had a life decision to make myself. I was either going to go out further in Pennsylvania or I was going to come back to New York City. I just missed New York City too much. This was my home. So about 2 years ago, I came back to New York, and I can tell you it was the best move I ever made. I met the most amazing woman in the world who shares my life with me right now, Kathy Vasquez, who happens to be a retired U.S. Army sergeant. I've met great people like Nancy Roden in the back, a great friend. I've reconnected with family, I've reconnected with friends, and like I said, it was one of the best decisions. Being back in Brooklyn I can't tell you how exciting it is. Just to drive past the stores and see familiar faces, it's really, really unbelievable. So I was enjoying my life back in New York, and then we had the riots several months ago. Kathy and I were sitting on the living room couch, watching what was going on, watching what was going on to my city. We all feel like it's our city, right? It's personal. It is. I was watching what was going on in my city. I was watching the police officers and what they were experiencing, what they were going through, remembering what I went through during the Crown Heights riots and the Washington Heights riots. And I felt this unbelievable sadness and helplessness, because I know how they felt. And I know how the civilians felt, watching their stores burned down, all our businesses burned down, and looting and arson and police cars on fire. And I just could not imagine how anyone in a leadership role who has any ounce of caring for their city could stand back and do nothing. And it wasn't one day, and it wasn't 2 days, and it wasn't 3 days. It's still going on to a degree. We still have groups of people that are harassing New Yorkers in Manhattan when they go out to dinner. Going out to dinner in Manhattan, it's a pastime. That's what we all used to do. That's what we love. And now you can't, besides the COVID issue, which we'll get to in a second, besides the COVID issue, you have to worry about being harassed by anarchists. That's not New York City, and that's not America. Not the one I know. So as I sat there with Kathy and my blood pressure flying through the roof, I said I could do 2 things. I could go on Facebook and I could write terrible things about Mayor de Blasio and curse him and the city council and everybody else. And I started doing that and I caught myself and I said, I can do more. I have to do more. Somebody has to do more. Because it's too important. It's just too important what we're witnessing right here. This is not only going to change our city, we saw what's going on in other cities across the country. This is going to change America. It's going to change the fabric of who we are, and not for the better. So I made a decision. I spoke it over with Kathy, and I said, I'm going to run for mayor of New York City. You can applaud for Kathy, because she's the one that talked me into it.
Well, you got a good wife. You got a good wife there. She'll
She's
push you all the way.
She did.
Remember, hit him with the bat when he doesn't get up.
She does. You don't encourage her, please. Don't encourage her. No, I can honestly say she was 100% behind me. She said, as long as this is what you want, then do it. And that's what I wanted to do. I knew I had the experience from being a police officer, from being on the street, from going through those difficult times that we did in the late 80s and the 90s here in New York City, going through the transformation of New York under Mayor Giuliani in the mid-90s, when, again, New York was in a similar position in the Dinkins administration, under the Dinkins administration. Crime was skyrocketing, the streets were dirty, morale was low, the city was apathetic. We were in the same apathetic place that we are now. Mayor Giuliani came in, instilled his policies, some people didn't like it, we all know what happened. He turned the city around with the help of the men and women of the New York City Police Department, and with the help of all of us. The economy skyrocketed, tourism skyrocketed, New York City was safer. New York City was safer. We didn't have to worry about this. And with public safety is all about perception. It's not about numbers that they give you on the news. It's not about the mayor's office telling you crime is down, crime is up. It's about how you feel. When you walk out of your house, do you feel safe? I think the answer for us right now is not really. Not really. We've lost that. We've lost touch of what happened.
I'm going to walk in the street at 2 o'clock in the morning where I live, and so I'm okay.
Right. Exactly.
Now, it's like...
We've lost that. We've lost that comfort.
Even the birds, you can't trust them.
No, certainly can't trust the
No,
birds.
you can trust them. You're telling us.
So, yeah, we've lost our way. Absolutely. Again, being part of that transformation, being a police officer at that time, knowing that it could be done. It could work. The city can change. You can change the city for the better. That really boosted my my motivation, because I knew I could change it. My skill set, my experience, my love for the city, and the fact that I came back, I was not letting anyone drive me out of the city ever again. I just wasn't going to give up. So, I decided to run for mayor. And now, we've been running hard and working hard for the last 3 months. I've met incredible people. Absolutely incredible. In every borough so far. And I've appreciated the new friendships I've made, the support we've gotten in 3 or 4 months with basically just a ground roots movement. We don't have billions of dollars in the bank. We don't have famous people doing commercials. We don't have that. What we have is a connection to people and connection to New Yorkers. And that's what we're building our campaign on. So we're going out every weekend, a couple nights a week. And we've gotten a head start on everybody because we care more. We don't have to be talked into run for mayor. We don't have to be wined and dined and convinced to run for mayor. I want to run for mayor because I love New York City and I know I can fix it. That's why I'm running. No other reason. So what do we have to do to fix New York City? Again, it starts with public safety. It starts with feeling safe in your own home and on your street, your streets. These are our streets. We pay taxes. We live here. These are our streets. It's not the anarchists and it's not the criminals and it's certainly not the politicians. This is our street. How do we do it? Yes.
I live on near Concord Park.
Rudy, let's take questions at the end.
Okay.
Oh, the sanitation is just horrible.
I know. That's a problem. Of course. I mean, that's all part of it. So how do we fix it? Well, it's going to start with public safety. The morale of the New York City Police Department has never been lower. And they've gone through some pretty tough times. It's never been lower. They need somebody in City Hall who respects what they do day in and day out and supports them, who gives them the tools and resources they need to fight crime on our streets. They need that, first and foremost. We have to fix police department and public safety. It's about our schools and our children. We have no future if we don't have our children on the right path. We have to start preparing our children and teaching them how to grow socially and academically. Not teaching them how to pass a standardized test, but how to grow and prepare them, our high school students. It's not just about standardized tests. It's about what are you going to do when you leave high school? Whether you go to college or whether you go out into the real world. Are we preparing our young people? And the answer is no. We've got to change that. We've got to change our direction. With businesses, our economy is in the tank right now. We're looking at layoffs. We're looking at furloughs. We're already in the middle of that. And there's no hope in sight because this mayor doesn't want to offer any hope. He doesn't want to offer any plans. So what do? We put together a plan. We protect our businesses. We cannot have some of the richest commercial real estate in the world on 5th Avenue and Madison Avenue boarded up with guard dogs in front of it. This is the middle of Manhattan, the richest commercial real estate in the world, the center of the world, the center of the universe. They can't be boarded up. We can't be losing our businesses like that because then we'll have no future. We need to protect our businesses. We need to give tax incentives. We need to make sure that the businesses we have here stay here. And that the businesses that left, we bring them back and we bring in new businesses.
Amen.
That's how we fix the economy. We also streamline this government that the mayor has put in place, where his wife, the co-mayor, has 14 people on her staff costing us $2 million.
Right.
And I'm not even gonna go into the 900 million, or whatever it may be, $1 billion that she cannot account.
How did he get away with that?
I have no idea how this administration gets away with anything. So we streamline the government. First thing we do. We find that $900 million as well, and we keep police officers, firefighters, correctional officers, we keep people at work. We keep them at work. Those are the main components to fixing New York City. It's about public safety first and foremost, because without it we have nothing. It's about education, our young children, it's about our businesses, and it's about people. And that's what our campaign is about. It's about people, meeting people like you every day in every borough, in every community, talking to people, listening to their concerns, telling them what we're going to do about it, how we're going to fix it, and listening to their ideas. I can tell you, I get messages, private messages from New Yorkers from every race, religion, creed, every occupation, every profession, telling me, listen, this is what you can do to fix education. This is what you can do to fix public safety. This is why I'm going out of business. And I listen to them. And I use their ideas because I don't know everything. But together, collectively, we can fix it. And that's what government's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about representing the people, not dictating to you where you can go, where you can eat, where you can pray. No, that's not New York City, that's not America. And that's what our campaign's all about. Now I'm told there's a big election this November, right?
Yeah.
I heard something about that. We start our recovery by electing common sense representatives. I don't want to use the word politicians. Common sense representatives, people who will stand up for us, people who will stand up for the people, the law-abiding citizens, the people who pay their taxes, the people who care about this country. And that's where it starts. People who support law enforcement, people who support the working class. These are the people we have to elect. The people that are in government right now, we've seen the results. We've seen what they've done to our city, what they're doing to our country every single day. We have an opportunity to start to change that November 3rd. We have to get out and vote. We have to vote responsibly. We have to vote smartly. And we have to do it again next year. Here's our opportunity. The fight is right in front of us. We have a chance to fix the mistakes we've made, the mistakes this country and city have made, and we can start November 3rd. So I hope you all go out and vote. I know you will.
Do we have any questions in the audience?
Whatever questions you have, absolutely.
I watch a lot of trash on TV. I end up sometimes watching, so I have to do my I watch, sometimes I go and watch New York One.
Sure.
And it is, they have these people running, they're a bunch of communists. I'm tired of having communists and Marxists coming up and say, I'm going to run for the winning mayor or whatever her name. We're going to have, they have these bogus communist programs that the mayor puts his wife in, in charge. And I'm tired. I said, oh my God, all they're doing is talk about is programs for the community. you know, we're going, affordable housing. If people would make, able to make money, they wouldn't have to think about affordable housing. That if people, they're always separating by saying, you know, because my family is mixed. I have, you know, family grandchild. But, you know, and this is what you have to get away from this Marxist, communist program, community organizing. That's all they do, and then he puts his wife in charge.
Right, right.
And I listened to the mayor, and he's in as a governor with this. You know, I just found out that the organization WHO, said that we shouldn't do like lockdowns anymore.
Right, I heard that.
And yet this guy, this governor, he gets on TV, and I feel like, I mean, I don't know, feel like it's like crazy. He's going to get blocks and blocks. You know, he's gonna, you know, survey the block, and he's gonna say they're clustered, and it's based on his science.
Right.
You know, and then he's gonna say, oh, we're gonna do research about the vaccine. You know,
Right.
and this is what we get. Like people, you know, even my children are gonna, you know, they think Biden. You know, I said, wait, don't hold your vote. But we have to be, you know, more aggressive in the sense of like, we want, not only do you have to run, we want to expose their corruption. The mayor is corrupt.
Yes.
And America is tired, you kind of come out, of course we want our businesses, but in order to get our businesses going, we have to really expose the corruption.
Right.
The little swamp creatures that live here in New York.
Of course.
And this is what we have to do, and it's like so important now is you have to demand that Biden, you know,
Yeah,
you know, I'm saying that, you know, to
Is there a
expose
question?
these people, then we would be able
Rudy,
to
you
go
have a
past.
question.
What?
Rudy,
You have a
question.
question.
Question for the,
Well, no, that's what I want you to do is to not just
Okay.
talk about business, but we must really
I
expose
understand,
these
I understand.
swamp creatures
oh, he's gonna be doing that.
before, you know,
We absolutely are. And I agree with you on every point.
yeah, that we have
The,
to,
the Blasio administration
it's corrupt.
has transformed New York City in the way that he wants it.
Well, he wants
His
to
own
take over the
Marxist,
buildings.
whatever it may be,
He
yes.
was studying, he studied
Right.
in the place, communism, Marxism,
Right.
and he's doing exactly, so we have to expose them in order to.
And that's one of,
Bill, I have a question.
it's one of the major reasons I'm running.
About this bag tax, I call it the nuisance nickel tax. Nuisance nickel tax. It's starting up again, well, it's been already, but, you know, where they're gonna enforce it on October 19th.
Tomorrow.
What could we do if you become mayor? I don't know, how could we overturn it? Is there any way of overturning it? It went through the state legislation, right?
Yeah.
So it would require what? The whole assembly and state senate, or just the state senate?
I believe it's gonna incorporate both.
So it'll never be overturned. Because the
Well, we
assembly,
can try. We
well,
can try.
maybe you as mayor won't be enforcing.
Well, I'll tell you right
The
now,
bag thing.
I'll tell you right now, as mayor, I'll absolutely vote not enforce.
There you go.
We have
So
a
even
much
though they
bigger
might have it
problem.
on the books,
Yeah.
the way to do it is vote for him as
Yeah.
mayor, and it won't be,
won't have to worry
no
about that.
businesses will be hassled with
We
this.
have far bigger problems in New York City
Ridiculousness.
than worrying about that.
That check
That is something that is not on the table as
The
far as.
taxes, the Obamacare.
I think we have another question. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to know, how can we help you? What can we do to
Okay.
help us?
Right after November 3rd, after the presidential election, we're gonna hit the ground running again. So what we're gonna need are volunteers, people to knock on doors, people to make phone calls for us, people to get the word out, to pass out our literature, I mean, just talk about us. That's what we're gonna need. And then we're gonna be holding fundraisers in the area, all over the city. We're gonna need you to turn out, support us, and really just give us that support. And right now, talk about us. And then when it's time to do the fundraisers, to come out, help us set them up, talk to your neighbors, that's really what we need.
You have a website?
Do you have a website? Is it on your website?
Certainly do. Bill Pepitone for NewYorkCityMayor.com. I have a Facebook page, Bill Pepitone for New York City Mayor. I'm on Twitter, same thing, Bill Pepitone for New York City Mayor. I'm on Instagram, same thing. I'm on every social media site. Plenty of information, especially on the Facebook page. The Facebook page is updated almost every day.
Okay. Good.
I understand that Pepitone wants to run as mayor.
Okay.
Are you in touch with him?
No, I'm not.
And
No, I'm not. I've heard,
what would you you know, that you should do, reach out to him, head attack, and what about this?
At this time, there's a lot